How's it going today, guys? I'm going to be showing y'all how to disassemble a Curado E7. This is going to be like I guess like a three-part video. I'm going to show y'all how to take it apart, and then the next video would be me cleaning it and doing the bearings, and then the next video will be me showing y'all how to reassemble. Let's get started. So I've already taken this handle nut off, actually, or the cover, I mean. So let's go ahead and just take the nut off. So I'll show you the order I like to go in when I'm doing this, and I'll go ahead and put them in an order for y'all right now, just to kind of show you how to keep everything organized. Usually I put the parts that I clean inside something I use to clean them. But I'll go ahead and show you how to do this in an order. So be careful when you, oh, never mind, this one doesn't have the regular old dial star drag system with the clicking thing, because sometimes it could pop out on you and really give you a hard time on trying to find it. And then I like using this to kind of take that little nut off right there for your drag. So, well, let's match it up first, and then just kind of loosen it, and then you can take this off, and then unscrew it the rest of the way. So there's 3 washers right here. This one's stuck to it. But whenever you do these, notice they're different ways. One, you want the curve down, and then the other one, you want it up. You don't want them the same way. That's just not how they go. So we'll go ahead and put those in the same one, like that. Alright, so when I get to this point, I like to take this bearing out. And usually there's a spring in here. Kind of helps press the bearing towards your like spool, keeps it on it. So now we can take the spool out. Set this off to the side because shouldn't forget where that goes. And there's a retaining clip right here. You can go ahead and take it out with a flat head. I like these picks I have really work pretty well. I just kind of pick it on out, and you can put those in the same area. Oh wait, there's not more than one on this one. That's right. Usually some reels have a retaining clip on this one also, but not this one. So if it's a little stuck, you can actually take a little screwdriver like this and stick it straight through that pinion gear and just kind of give it a little push, and it'll fall on out. So I'm not going to put this down in here. I'm going to go ahead and drop that one so it can soak and get cleaned up. And then this one, you can kind of get it on the edge. If not, if you have some little flatheads, I'm sure there's a size in y'all's like mine that grabs it perfect, and you can just pull it out. Alright, so then we'll go ahead and take these screws off, and then the 4th screw is actually the guide for your line. So we'll go ahead and take this one off. And yes, they're all flatheads. Okay, so when you got this one off, you just set it off to the side with that one. Then all these other ones are going to be Phillips. Let me see if this one has a long one or not. Because usually, I know in the Chronarch E7s and E6s, this screw right here is actually going to be longer than all the others. Yeah, and I think this one has it also. Let's see. So yeah, I believe that one's going to be a long screw, and these other 2 at the bottom are going to be regular, the same size. See? So that's kind of like an order that they go in. So yeah, see, both of them are this size, and then the one that goes in this hole by the 200E7 label will be actually longer. So then you can kind of just grab it here, it's easier, and just separate. Keep my reels fairly clean, but I was fishing in salt water today. Actually, we had I did 2 different trips. One early this morning and came back, and then I just did one this evening. So, anti-reverse clutch bearing. Whenever you clean it, you definitely do not want to put a lot of oil or any grease on it. What I do with the tube, though, whenever I clean this tube, this is what the tube is. I like to clean it off, and then when I get it clean and ready to put back on, I'll dab a little oil that I put in the bearings and put it on a paper towel and squeeze them together like that with the paper towel on it, and it puts a nice thin little coating of the, like, I guess, oil. And like I said, I'm not gonna be putting bearings in there, but it keeps it nice and lubed, because if you put too much, then it can make some noise and mess go out on you. So we'll set this off over here. I know people that use loose reels, that right there is probably an issue you've had before, I'm sure. Squeaky bearing. Man, this one don't want to come off. Go ahead and take this little thick flathead and kind of just twist and just work it easy. There, it came off. Alright. And so if you just tip it over your drive gear, drag washer, and washer plate. And there's another one with the cog gear. Alright, so with these, don't ever grease these up. Don't ever have grease or oil in this. Okay, there's no point. Can, but it just, you don't need it. It's better without it. It's smoother. You don't need to grease these up at all, your washer plates. What you do whenever you grease this is, if you grease it, I put a small amount of grease on it, just on the gears. It keeps them nice and easy. But whenever you do that, you want to make sure that you wipe off any grease that's on this side and any grease on the back side of it. You don't want any like little spots or like little like buildups of the grease that when you put it on here, because it will actually give you gear vibration and gear noise. Alright, so here's some springs that go on those 2 little notches there, and yes, you do need them. I'm gonna go ahead and just drop them in the cleaning area so that they can get nice and clean. Alright, there's that. Pinion gear. Alright, so now let's move into the more complicating looking area. So we'll start by taking this shaft off and gear. So there's 2 screws right there. Just kind of let them fall out and set them next to the pinion gear. And then just kind of wiggle it on out. Sometimes if y'all is stuck, you can do what I did with the drive gear and kind of just take a flathead and put it on the metal part. Make sure you don't put it on the gear because it will break the teeth. But you just kind of twist it side to side. And then with this E-clip, I like to use a pick. I used to do it for a long time with the flathead, but picks just kind of get in there a little better with that E-clip. Oh. And then so all that's here is the bearing, which I'm going to drop also to get cleaned. This thing, I forgot the name of it, I'm sorry. And then there's a thin washer, very, very, very thin. Be very careful with it. It will bend up on you. Can you see all the parts? All right, good. And then here's my shaft, which I'm gonna drop also into the cleaning spot, which you can see right here. All right, next is going to be right here. I'm sorry, can't think of all the names right now. What I like to do right here is I'll loosen this first one up and leave it in there, loosen it up enough for it to come out, and then I don't take it out all the way. I don't unthread it all the way, but I take this one out all the way, this bottom one, because it helps whenever you put this part back in. It helps you to just kind of, you know, just slide it on in and keep it straight. It's easier, and then you only got to put in one screw, and then tighten that one up. So with this part, I like to just grab it right here with like this, and then my thumb, and just pick up, and it kind of covers up the spring that's there and allows it not to fly, because yes, finding these small parts like that can be a hassle. So that's that part. Now we'll flip it on over. You could have taken this off a long time ago, but I just kind of take it off at that point. Let's go ahead and take your paw out, because you won't be able to get your worm gear off without your paw being out of it, because the teeth of the paw will keep it in there. So I'll go ahead and unscrew this part, and there should be a little washer or maybe even two inside of the cap. And if it's not in the cap, make sure and look to see if it's on the paw itself, because sometimes they'll get stuck to the paw. So you can kind of just take a little pick and just kind of try to get it on out. If not, you can take the gear and wiggle it back and forth, and it should be sticking out somewhat, and just kind of, if not, just to give little taps. If that don't work, then what you can do is you can take something from the back side and push up, and then tip it over, and it'll come on out. And then you can grab it, there's a little edge, just kind of slide it out. I'm gonna go ahead and drop this in here as well. Alright, so then now there's nothing on it, you know, it kind of just freely moves. You can take this off. There's just an E-clip and a washer. Don't lose either one, please. So just take it off the same way. Just get it in the little groove, the tip of whatever you use, flathead or a pick, and just push down. I take a couple tries. I like using the picks, because if you use a flathead, if you don't get it right, it slides off that E-clip. You could scratch up the reel all right there, and you know, I mean, it ain't gonna harm nothing. It's just gonna make it look ugly. So then, you know, you just take this washer off, and also be very careful with this one. Don't lose it. Don't bend it, because it will bend on you, and just give you your reel not so smooth of a reel. So if you get this out of the way, your paw should just, I mean, the level gear should fall right on out, the worm gear. So you just push your worm gear up, give it a little twist, pull down. It's getting stuck there, and it comes off. I'm gonna drop this in here, put this right there. All right. Oh, I'm sorry, look. There's going to be a little washer on this little gear right there on the edge. Be careful, don't lose it. Because also it makes it smoother. So I could have already done this, but there's actually a bearing right there. I forgot to mention that. Alright, so now you can flip it back over, take a flathead if it's stuck, and just give it a little push, and that slides on out. You can take this off, push that up, slide this off. Well, if it slides, see, I needed to clean it. That got a little dirty. This always gets dirtier than anything on the reel, almost. You know, it's what your line goes through. It just gets all nasty. Alright, and then that just slides on out. And then for your thumb, now I mean, y'all can take this side plate off. All it's held on by is a small E-clip. I don't ever worry about it. I just kind of let it dangle, or you can even close it and just leave it there. So with this, for the thumb, you'll loosen this screw up. I don't ever take it all the way out either. Just kind of loosen it up enough that you can slide this out from under it. just like that, because that's all it does. It's like a little retaining screw. And then just look at it face on, turn it towards you, the reel. Push up on the thumb piece, and there's a little screw in there. And you can stick any old screwdriver in there. I like using this one. It kind of just gets back there easier and gets it good. And you just take that screw off. Let it kind of just fall on out. And then this should just pull off. Well, once you gotta take this off, and that slides off. And your thumb piece slides off. Alright, well, I believe that's about it. I mean, unless you want to take all this apart, which that's a whole nother video. So many little parts inside of this part. It's bad. But I don't ever mess with it. I'll clean out where the bearing sits. I don't ever get inside the turkey dial, because I mean, there's really no point. I mean, there's really nothing in there that will alter your performance of the reel. Usually what I like to do though is I'll hold on to it right here, and I'll actually dip the reel inside that, and it helps if it's really dirty, break everything down, and you can go ahead and just pull it out, dry it off with a paper towel or whatever you want to use, and start cleaning it. But yeah, that's basically the disassembly and all the parts laid out for your E7. Yeah, let me put that in the picture. Alright, so the next video will be me cleaning it and showing you how to clean each part properly, and make sure you don't put too much of something where it shouldn't be. Thank you very much, and please follow, share, and hit that like button, and subscribe so I can do a lot more reels. That way, because these I could do it with customers' reels, but sometimes it's one I haven't worked on before. But I mean, I'm pretty handy with them. Most reels, you'll understand that once you start working on them enough. They're mostly the same, except a couple parts here and there. Like for instance, let's say this section right here. Sometimes this